Just for you, Rebel. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Full-Time Sports Network. Welcome to THSC Till I Die. I am joined by two Irishmen. Yes, it's the Irish takeover today. I'm joined with Dermatron. How are you, mate?
I am grand. I'm getting my Republican Irish boots on. I'm ready to move, and we're going to take over Ireland. We've taken over Leitrim. It's Wexham. Let's take over the rest of Ireland, and we're just gonna Full-Time Sports Network. Cork Rebel down below me, and THFC die. We're going to be the new government to bring the Irish people into the next century on the prosperous of a wave. There you go. That's how pumped up I am.
Lovely to see. And of course, if you've been here before, he's not been here for a while, but he's back. My Cork brethren, Rebel. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. No, we had a bit of a chat in the background regarding Irish football, and I think it's the equivalent of Eamon Ryan being appointed as Taoiseach, really, is what this is after happening here. But this is a story for another day. I won't drive the steel toe caps that I have currently on my feet into the goulads of Mr. O'Shea just yet. But I've been doing okay. It's been a quiet time in the streaming front, but yeah, sure, any time for a bit of therapy is always a good time.
Awesome stuff. So before we get in, I do have to do the housekeeping, and that is, of course, we are sponsored official partners, should I say, with Wraith Energy. You get 10% off scanning that QR code or using the code FTSN22, or Rebel showing is there, or you can use Dermo's code if you so wish, which is
TA, hang on, I've got it here. Where is it? I do have it somewhere along the lines. Here we go. This is the code. Also, that's your one.
That's my code.
Yeah, because I'm in. Let me go. Let me go into my one. Yeah. This shows how. Anyway, same code. Oh, here it is. Same code, and you use the code THFC TID for 10% off. Because Wrath is also official partner of THFC Till I Die. So there you go.
What's your favorite flavor, Dermo? We have to ask.
I haven't asked. I haven't got my bundle yet, and that's coming. So apparently the bath water's within it. So I'm going to have a little taste of that. Apparently they put a 18 stone American athlete into the bath, and that's what they've used for me to drink. So I'll let you know what it's like if I'm still alive after drinking it. But I'm looking forward to it. They do some great stuff on their website, by the way.
I've heard it's butterbean sweat.
Lovely.
I'll take that. That's not a problem. And just to let you guys know, just to keep within the Cork flavour, I was adopted, so my birth father was actually from Cork as well. So we're sort of all in the same.
Everybody wants to be from Cork. Everybody wants to be from Cork.
You just want to be your own republic, don't you, Colin? You want to be head of Cork government.
Of course we do. Of course. But let's put aside Cork and Ireland for a minute, and let's talk about obviously the destruction that is going on at Manchester United at this moment in time. So a lot of reports have been coming out recently that Ten Hag has 3 games to make up for everything that has happened. Now, obviously, Rebel is a Manchester United fan. We know you're a Spurs fan, Dermo, so this is going to be an outsider looking in. I'm going to come to you first, Rebel, because obviously we've not seen you in a while. 3 games. Is that a bit harsh?
Well, I suppose there's multitudes of stories going out there. Some are saying that the decision is already made and that the new regime, in keeping what they've done at CEO and a few other levels, are literally taking the broom to the kitchen floor and sweeping everything in front of it out the door. Is there going to be a substantive, recognizable change that you could pin your badge to the shorts behind us and say, that is enough for a manager to save himself? And I think that sort of a time frame just isn't a long enough sample period, because we can have peaks and troughs in seasons. And if a manager is not functioning, there's going to be a more deeper rooted analysis that's going to have to be done across how he's performed during the season than a quantum of 3 games. Like, you could turn around and you could end up playing Luton, Sheffield United, and Burnley. 3 games to save yourself. What have you proven? Unless you're beating a Tottenham, unless you're beating an Arsenal, unless you're looking like you've established those patterns of play that everybody on Twitter, or X as it's known now, is talking about, you are not going to ascertain the answer to the question of whether Eric Ten Hag is the Manchester United manager of next season from a 3-game sink or swim kind of, I suppose, situation. So, is it harsh? No, but it's not workable.
Obviously, Rebel's just been saying there in regards to the teams that we have to play to see whether we're going to be able to do that. Obviously, the next 3 games for us that are apparently Ten Hag's final games, Dermot, are Everton at home, Liverpool at home, and Brentford away.
Look, I think this 3 games to save himself is a load of rubbish, to be fair. Because what's the point? If you're fighting for a Champions League place, if you're fighting for Europe, what's the point of sacking your manager? Now, I'm looking at it from an outside view. We've done this ourselves a couple of times. We sacked Mourinho before a League Cup final. We've sacked managers, Conte, what he done last season. I think Man United is where Tottenham was a couple of seasons ago. And sacking managers doesn't work. You've got to look at the main problem. And the main crop to the problem is the players. Them players have to take responsibility for the results, for the attitude they show. You had the problems with Sancho. You had the problems with Ronaldo, which I thought Ten Hag dealt with that very well, to be fair to him. I think with the Sancho, he didn't deal with it well enough. I know he has his principles, but I think with players like Sancho, you have to treat them a little bit differently. Like Ferguson always treated Cantona differently to the rest of the squad. But given a manager 3 games to save himself, I think you need to look at the whole season and say, has it been good enough? And if you're a Manchester United fan, the answer to that is no. Then if you wanted to get rid of him, then you should have got rid of him before the transfer window, January transfer window. Bring in your own man and let him build for next season. But I think a lot of these players have to take a hard good look at themselves and say, did we do all we can for Ten Hag? And the answer to that is no.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go on, Rebel.
I was just going to say, I can't remember the last time that we had a continuous period where it was good enough, where you could say that, okay, it didn't quite work out in that particular game against Tottenham for argument's sake, but you could see what he was trying to execute. You could see, look, maybe this player or that player isn't quite good enough for that piece of the jigsaw, but you could see where the thing was going. Like, this is actually exactly what I was just thinking of. When you look back over the years, from LVG to Eric Ten Hag, Martial has gone through 5 managers. Shaw has gone through 5 managers. Rashford, like, you're looking at the same core of players that when the going got tough, and when you were looking for leaders in the camp, when you were looking for people to step up, stand up and be counted and play for that badge up there, they went missing.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to have a look at these players' names. You know, like Martial, who's been running down his contract, I think, ever since Jose came in. You know, Shaw obviously is a bit of a stonewall defender for us. We do miss Shaw. Rashford's been terrible. I don't know what it is with Rashford. You know, I mean, Dermo, are you surprised looking at how many players have actually stayed through these amount of managers?
I am. I bring it back to Tottenham. I don't mean to, but I think that the same what's happening at United, similar happened at Tottenham. We had a group of players that were not good enough, that were kept given long contracts to, an Eric Dyer, a Don Bele, a Davis, a Reguilon, a Hugo Lloris. There was times we should have upgraded, but we didn't. But you look at there, we've got Martial, bought in by Ferguson, and he hasn't lived up to his potential. You look at Maguire, you paid all that money for him, and he's not the greatest. He's not a great defender. You look at Fernandez. No disrespect. Don't take this wrong, lads. But all he does moaning well, and he moans well enough. He's not a Man United captain. He's not a Brian Robson or an Eric Cantona or a Steve Coppell or a manager of that ilk. That a captain of that ilk can drive your team along when you're in the trenches. None of them players were getting the trenches when you needed them to. So I'm looking at it from how we were, and it's different now. We've got Anjan. You need to get rid of your deadwood. You need to get rid of these players that don't perform. And they seem to be rewarded. Failure, they're being rewarded for failure. That's got to stop. That's not the Man United way. The Man United way is to reward players when they're successful. Fergie wouldn't put up for that. Look at Yap Stam. He made something in the book or a newspaper, he was out. Roy Keane slagged off the team on MUTV, out. You look at Mark Hughes back in Kanchelskis as well, out when they weren't good enough. Man United was the team of discipline. Man United was the team of you wouldn't step out of line. And it's not there anymore. And too many players are now taking liabilities with the shirt and with the name. And it's driving you into the gutter. Yeah. So when's it going to change? And you can blame the owners all you want. And I know you're probably going to get onto that. And yeah, they do take a partial blame on what's happening there. But you also got to blame the players because they're the ones that go out every Saturday at 3:00. Once they cross that white line, there's nothing Ten Hag or the owners can do. It's down to them players to perform, to put a performance that befits the name of Manchester United.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand where you're coming from.
And you have it, and Rashford has it. And Rashford's supposed to be a Manchester lad. So where's that going? I mean, it's a disgrace. As a football fan, seeing Man United like this, I'm putting my Tottenham hat to one side, but as a genuine football fan, it's very sad to see.
Dermot, can I take Dermot back to the last show that we'd done together? It was the preview show for Manchester United versus Tottenham. Yeah. And we'd given up. We'd already surrendered, waved the white flag and said, we ain't winning this. There's problems here. And what you were saying about the players once they cross the pitch rings home very true, because what I would mention to you there is that Manchester United bought Casemiro for the price of £70 million. Now, don't get me wrong, being one of the greatest midfielders in recent decade, has been well decorated. We got a season out of him, and this year it looks like his legs are falling away. That quarter inch of pace that he would have had that got him to tackles before or let him get booked this time. He doesn't seem like, when you say about blaming the Glazers, the one thing I'll blame the Glazers for, other than obviously acting like the club is a fracking company, is they installed people that did not know what they were doing at negotiation level. We gave contracts to players beyond the market value that they should ever have gotten. We paid transfer fees for players that was absolutely ridiculous. I want to take you back to the very first season after David Gill left Manchester United Football Club. His parting gift with Alex Ferguson was to deliver Thiago Alicante to Manchester United Football Club, Liverpool's current midfielder, Portuguese midfielder. There was a striker and there was a centre-back. Signed, sealed and delivered. That would have been a core for the next regime to kind of jump off of. David Moyes and Woodward. Now, David Moyes was the Premier League manager. He took a shot, and I'm not going to have digs at him, but Ed Woodward was never a person that was capable of handling the football intricacies that's required for someone that we now call a director of football. It just wasn't in his wheelhouse. We spent the entire summer chasing a white rabbit that was Gareth Bale from Real Madrid, and we were never, ever, ever getting him. And we eventually then paid, I think it's 20 million extra for a Belgian from Everton, more than the start of the season. If we really wanted Marwan Fellaini, we had triggered his release clause when it arose at that first month in the transfer window, and it would have been done. We repeated that same idiocracy with Anthony. Anthony was available at, I think, 30 odd million at the start of a transfer window. We ended up paying 20, 30 million more due to incompetence at that level.
Yeah.
And finally, what I would say is the people and the personnel that the Glazers appointed, they were focused on the commercial value of putting a certain player in that shirt behind me and what it could mean in terms of income in order to allow a dividend to take place. It did not necessarily mean that those players were bad, but because of what we paid for them, because of the wages that we gave them, their heads are not now in the game of football. And we are battling up a waterfall instead of trying to build a team. Now, if all that other stuff happens in the background, that there's a commercial income, that, do you know what? If the Glazers were taking 150 million a year, but we were still competitive on the football field, do you think any Manchester United football fan would be looking at it? Nope.
Hey, you're going on there about the signings. I've actually got them here. Eric Ten Hag's signings. So we paid £86 million for Anthony, 72 for Højlund, 70 for Casemiro, 57 for Martinez, 55 for Mason Mount, who I think's played 2 games for us. Onana, 47, Malacia, I don't know where he is at the minute, 14 million. Bendia, 4 million. Obviously, Ericsson and Evans on a free. I mean, we've massively overpaid.
You've overpaid in a lot of players there, to be fair. Mason Mount, you overpaid. Onana, I think you overpaid. Højlund, I think Højlund will get better. I think you probably paid the right amount of money for him because he will become a decent striker. Anthony, you overpaid. It's just, we look at Daniel Levy. We criticise Daniel Levy for not spending money. But by Christ, he does do it properly. And you look at Man United, you've just, unlike Chelsea, you've just went out to the middle of the street and pissed your money up against the wall on certain players. It's the only way of putting it. And that's what you've done. The Glazers have done that. And you wouldn't have done that under Fergie's time. You wouldn't have done it even under Ron Atkinson's time. It's a different shift. Man United is not the same Man United it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. This Manchester United is a club that's, full of cancer.
Yeah.
And the cancer starts at the very top. There's a couple of comments there. Do you want me to bring them up?
Yeah. I was just about to do it anyway. So yeah. Feel free.
Yeah, go on. I'll let you read them. Go on.
So Wayne Bonner saying, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. The problem with United is they have way too many problems at the club that haven't been dealt with, and it'll only get worse. He's 100% right. United need a complete overhaul from top to bottom. They used to have a team to be proud of, but they have individuals who shouldn't be there. That's a statement I completely agree with. 100%.
I do, and I can see Rebel there nodding his head. Look, you look at United at the past, right? And I know it's good to look back, but you had the players like Brian Robson. I mean, he was proud to wear that shirt when they bought him from West Brom. Captain Marvel, that was his nickname. Absolutely gave everything for Manchester United. Paul Ince, Eric Cantona, Brian McClare, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, Dennis Irwin, Paul Parker. And you go on then to the latest of Wayne Rooney and Rio Ferdinand and Jaap Stam and Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs. You've had players that were proud to play for United. Me did the Fulham game, didn't we, Colin?
Yes.
And I sat there, we were watching the game, you were doing your bit of commentary, and I sat there and watched, and I thought, Fergie must be pulling his hair out in the stand watching this. And thinking, where's the club I built? It's gone.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, I'll go to Colin and like you, Rebel, but do you feel your club is dead? That this is not a club that you've supported since you were a wee kids?
It's a hard question because I don't want it to be dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
It
how
takes
do
a
you
lot.
feel?
Well, you saw how I feel. We did the watch along for the
Yeah, we did.
City Derby. You saw
Yeah.
firsthand how I felt. You know, I mean, Rebel agree with me. You know, 10 years ago, I know we're living in the history of Manchester United. 10 years ago, you know, we'd be laughing, singing, and joking about how rubbish City are.
Mm.
You know, 10 years ago, we'd be laughing and joking, you know, because we've put 4 or 5 past a team like Fulham or, you know, a Sheffield United or a Burnley, a Villa. And now we're struggling to keep up with the likes of Brightons and Villas and Newcastles and, no offence, Spursers. You know, we're not even in the same league as some of these teams at the minute.
You say 10 years ago, and it's scary to think it's actually been more than 10 years since
Well,
we
yeah.
were laughing at some of these clubs, because we've had 13 years of Woodward since Sir Alex Ferguson left. So I suppose I don't want to call it dead, but I think it's grossly mismanaged by incompetence, by negligence. And when I look at Manchester United Football Club, and it's something that's been said multiple times by even Liverpool fans at this stage, are kind of going, Jesus, I just want to actually have a proper bit of football banter with these guys. It's sad what's going on. And I suppose what's scary for me is we've had 3 weeks of Sir Jim being officially ensconced in the ownership. He's done more in 3 weeks than the Glazers have in 24 years at Manchester United Football Club. Now, whether or not we have that as a springboard to start the recovery, who knows? But when you look at what happened in the last 3 weeks, and when you say that what was done there had more of a significant impact than anything that the Glazer family have done for Manchester United Football Club, because that is nothing, you have to wonder, what sort of businessmen are they? Because regardless of what their motive for being involved in Manchester United Football Club were, if you're a good businessman, you know a good football performance is good for business and therefore it's good for your pocket.
It's like on a personal level, like, obviously I won't go into proper detail, but at work, I have a Sheffield United fan at work, and obviously there's a little bit of banter because it's, you know, Premier League and all that. And he was saying to me, I must be embarrassed. And I turned around and I was like, what do you mean I must be embarrassed? You've just shipped 16 goals in 3 games. How can you say anything? He went, yeah, but we're expected to ship 16 goals in 3 games because we're rubbish, but you're absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? That's a Sheffield United fan stating out very clear facts. We are terrible. It's horrible. It really is. Yeah.
There's been 120 scoring chances on Manchester United Football Club in the last 5 games. 120.
Yep. Oh well. Anyway, right. Ten Hag. Let's go. So I've got a few stats here in regards to a few of the managers. I couldn't get all of them up, unfortunately. But Ten Hag's 100th game was the City game, and he's got a 59 win percentage. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, obviously, who got sacked. He managed 168 games, 56% win, and where is he? Jose Mourinho, the special one, 100 games, I think he did, 60%. But if I'm just going to bring these stats up here because I've got some down here. So we'll start with, and in fact we won't. We'll start with Moisey because he started. So David Moyes, obviously 2013, 2014, 51, 126, drawn 10, lost 15. Goals, obviously 4 and against all and everything there. My question is, did we get rid of Moyes a bit too quick?
I'm going to come in there very quickly and say that with all due respect to David Moyes, we didn't do any favours. we didn't have a structure above him to help him succeed at Manchester United Football Club. We didn't have competence in decision making at director of football level, at the contract negotiation level. Now, when David Moyes went on a pre-season tour in America and decided to take Manchester United jogging down a public beach, somebody on the upper level needed to kind of say, David, come here, you're not managing Everton Football Club anymore. You're not managing a player base that is not going to be known across the pond in America, because we know that they don't really follow football to a great extent. But these were the stars at the time of Manchester United Football Club. They're the most recognised faces in football at that time. And he went down a public beach, and he just needed someone with experience, with a bit of nous, that knew how to manage a football club, to come along and say, right, this is how we're going to run your training camp over there. All you have to do is go out and prepare your team.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm going to come up to you next, Mo, because this is obviously a manager that both of us have had.
Yeah.
In Jose, obviously 2018, 2019, 24. It says 24, 10, 6, 8 there for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. So Jose Mourinho, you know, it's the special one. I didn't think he was fantastically bad. I just thought the game had passed him a little bit. Obviously, as an outsider looking in, what were your thoughts? Because obviously he did manage Tottenham as well.
The boring one. That's what I nicknamed. The boring one. He wasn't the special one. He was the boring one. I think Levy saw Mourinho and got a semi, basically, after he sacked Poch. Look, Mourinho is a manager that wants to spend money. That's what he does. He wants to win. He doesn't care. He wants to spend and win trophies. He does it his way. It wasn't a good fit at Tottenham for Mourinho. He wasn't the right manager for us. And I don't think he was the right fit for United either, if I'm being blatantly honest. I think he caused more ructions within the dressing room at Tottenham and United more than any other manager that I can recall has done. And just to go back on David Moyes as well, to answer your question on that, Colin, I think you did sack him too early. Because anyone that was coming in after Alex Ferguson was always going to struggle. So United should have said, right, we need, as Rebel said, rightly so, we need to build a team around a new manager to help him. Because the same thing happened when Sir Matt Busby left. You went downhill. The same things happened after Ferguson's left. You've gone downhill. And you've had LGV, you've had Mourinho. And these big managers, they may be big managers by name, but they weren't the right fit for Manchester United.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the problem. I don't think he was the right fit. It wasn't the right fit for us, and it wasn't the right fit for Man United either. I think David Moyes was more of a right fit than Mourinho.
See, obviously those stats there for some reason aren't working properly. But I have got these stats up here. So in 93 games, Manchester United under Mourinho, Mourinho won 50, giving him a win percentage of 53.8. Only Sir Alex Ferguson has a higher percentage, and that's 65.2. Mourinho's last game, ignore that actually, because that's Chelsea or something. United have 0 goal difference after 17 games. Previous low came in 1992. That was under Mourinho. United scored 151 goals in Mourinho's 93 league matches. So that's 1.62 per game. Under Mourinho, United have 26 points in the league after they opened 17 matches. Obviously, our lowest total. It wasn't fantastic, was it? Under Mourinho. But unfortunately, just is what it is. Obviously, I'm going to go on to the next guy, which is obviously, in fact, before I do that, go on.
One quick brief point on Mourinho. I think Dermot's right. Mourinho set you out to play boring football, a bit like Trapattoni did when he managed Ireland. But we will tolerate boring football when results come in, when you're winning games, when you're progressing in terms of what you're targeting to achieve, i.e. qualification for a major tournament in the case of Ireland, you can suffer boring football when results are being delivered. It's when those results disappear and things start to fall apart that then the wolves from the stand start baying, and that management then is under severe pressure. But what I never understood with Tottenham that time, even though I agreed that he wasn't the man for Tottenham to kick him on, stacking a man that's won pretty much every cup final he's nearly played in the day before a cup final never made sense to me. But when you look at Mourinho, and I think he said this in his press conferences, he looked for certain players to be signed for Manchester United Football Club. The Glazers, via their personnel that they've employed, did not deliver those players. Now, did that mean that put cracks in his boring defensive football? Possibly. But I think when you're playing boring football, you need to be delivering results.
You're right, 100%, 100%. Just before I go on to the last guy, I just want to say hello to a few people because they have popped in. Bobby, how are you doing? Yes, I am friends with somebody. Well, not friends, he's a work colleague with somebody who is a Yorkshire club and a Sheffield one. I sleep by drinking lots and lots of whiskey. That's what I do. We have got Wayne here saying he liked Moyes, always rated him. He builds teams, which is what United need after that Fergie era. It just didn't quite work out for him, I suppose. Sonny is saying hello. Hello, Sonny. Bobby's being mean again, Dermo, as usual.
Right, Bobby, just do us a favour. Go back to South London. Leave North London alone. You've overstayed your welcome. The rent hasn't been paid for about 30 years. And can you just please go back to South London? You're stinking out North London, and we don't like the smell.
Tequila says, lol, Man United. Hello, Tequila. Nice to see you too. Just lol. Porcom. Hello to Sonny KL as well. Again, he's on Twitter and on here. And Tequila saying no laughing track.
Can I just say that on the subject of poor Cullum, I want to thank Cullum for the performance of his beloved Donny Rovers at the weekend. Their loss contributed to a 4-timer on a 3 p.m. docket that I had and made me a lot of money. So thanks very much to Donny.
Anyway, let's move on. The last person I'm going to speak about here is Ollie. So Ollie's at the wheel. Yeah, Ollie's at the wheel. Everybody remembers Ollie at the wheel. It's got his 2021 there. Played 17, won 7, drawn 3, lost 7, goals for 28, goals against 29. Again, I don't think all these stats are properly up to date, but Rebel, thoughts on Ollie?
Well, it's actually quite poignant that Ollie's being mentioned because he recently done a show with Gary Neville et al. On with a foot. What I can't remember what it's called. Stick to Football or something along that line is the name of the show. But he was quite cutting of the way Manchester United done their business while he was at manager. Now, was he ever the guy to lead Manchester United Football Club? Probably not. He's a nice guy, club legend on the pitch. Did a great job for us as a temporary manager when he came in to kind of finish out the season. But when you look at certain aspects that Ollie has pointed out, Haaland, when Ollie was at Molde, was mentioned to Manchester United Football Club. We didn't have €1 million to pay Molde to bring Haaland to Manchester United Football Club. We could have had Jude Bellingham for 2.5 million. We could have had Enzo Fernandez, who's at Chelsea, for 5 million. He's pointed out lots of problems in terms of Manchester United not willing to put change, and I mean change in respect to the budget of a football club, forward to get possible future stars. Would Haaland be the player he is today if we'd succeeded to get him? Maybe not, but we will never know. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the one thing that he always looked to set up was a bit of pride in this shirt. He wanted his teams to run. And I think even Dermot will acknowledge counter-attack was very, very dangerous when Ole took charge of Manchester United Football Club. We could be from one end of the pitch to the other in the blink of an eye and possibly having the ball in the back of your net. He had that aspect of the game sewn down, and you could see that pattern was entrenched in Manchester United Football Club. Where Ollie always failed, though, was when teams put a low block in front of him and there was 2 walls of 5 and we couldn't break it down. That's where Manchester United Football Club struggled, and we were waiting for that one fast break to beat inferior teams. But Ollie definitely got more flack than he deserved. Ollie aged visibly under the camera from when he started to when he left. And you even notice now when he was in stadium to watch his daughter play for the ladies, he's got some of his younger features back again, because this level of management, it ages you. We see it with Jurgen Klopp, it aged him. We've seen it with Jose Mourinho, it aged him. And it definitely aged Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
He's not wrong, Dermot.
You're muted, I think, Colin.
He's not wrong at all. And look, I like Ollie. I did. I must admit, I do like Ollie. And I felt, I don't know if you guys, I felt the job might have been too big, but he brought something. He brought the Alex Ferguson type of discipline to Manchester United after playing under Sir Alex. He brought that discipline back to the club. He brought, you have to be proud to wear that Manchester United shirt. That red devil on your shirt is what you play for. You don't play for yourself, you play for the fans that come week in, week out to Old Trafford and away. You play for them. And I feel a lot of the players that are in this current squad don't. I feel a lot of players, and Ten Hag doesn't get United. This is the problem. Ten Hag doesn't get the philosophy, the DNA of Man United. Ollie did. Ollie got it. Ollie's been in it. He knew what Man United meant to the fans of Manchester. He knew what Manchester United meant to himself. So if the manager is proud to be there, that's going to relate on these players, that they're going to be proud to play for the club. Where at the moment, under Ten Hag, there's no pride there, because Ten Hag doesn't know what it means, what Man United means. Man United means pride. It means work hard. It means never give up. It means, being successful. United were successful for one reason and one reason only: hard work. Them players under Fergie didn't stop or didn't finish until that whistle went. And I know, Colin, we've watched United a little bit over the years, since we've become together. And can you really put your hand on your heart and say, them players now care about the club?
See, we're talking about players there, not the manager. I mean, I don't think. I think a lot of players don't care.
Yeah,
I think a lot of players don't.
Yeah, I think Ten Hag doesn't care. Ollie did care, and that was the problem. Ollie cared deeply about the club. He cared deeply about the fans. He cared deeply about how his team was going to perform under the pitch. They had to play the Man United way.
I mean,
sorry.
I think, are we being too hard? Are we actually being too hard on Ten Hag? Like, obviously, FJT here is saying up here somewhere, yes, time is up, and he expects losses now, no top 4, stuff like this. I'll give you 20 mil for Ange and Ten Hag. You know what I mean? No. Are we actually being too hard on Ten Hag? I mean, if we look at his Premier League record, okay, he's had 100 matches or whatever in total, but his Premier League record: 65, 37 wins, 8 draws, 20 losses, 95 goals for, 82 goals against, 3 Manager of the Month awards, a final, a trophy, and another final. Are we actually being too harsh on Ten Hag, considering what he has to work with?
No, I don't think you are. I think Ten Hag was brought in there to win you the Premier League. He hasn't won you the Premier League, so there's going to be criticism. United don't go for the FA Cup. United don't go for the League Cup. They want to win the Premier League. You haven't won the Premier League since when? 2013? Last time you won the Premier League? He was brought in to win you the Champions League and Premier League. That was his main objectives. He hasn't done his main objectives. Mourinho was the same. It's okay winning these other trophies. The one trophy United won is the league. That's what they pride themselves on. They want to be the best team in the country. They want to beat Liverpool. They want to be better than Liverpool. That's what drove Ferguson on, because he wanted his United team to be better than Liverpool. And watching Liverpool being successful and winning European Cups and winning leagues, watching Man City doing the treble. I know it's
say one thing:
on.
it's league, not leagues.
League. But it must tear you guys to pieces, because that is what you were used to. And that is what the main objective every year is. You come in, if you're a manager of Manchester United, your main objective is to win the league, to win the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. By no means is this me saying, like, I think we're not giving Ten Hag enough time. I'm playing devil's advocate. This is what I'm here to do. Rebel, obviously, being a Man United fan just like me. I mean, what's your thoughts on? Do we need to give him more time, or is enough enough?
I'm going to put my business qualification hat on for a second, because I used to audit for a living, and I don't do that anymore because it just stressed the living daylights out of me. But I'm going to put that hat on one more time, and I'm going to say, are we unfair in terms of the fact that we say that Erik ten Hag is not capable of playing a pattern and style of play? I think we are, because at Ajax, he clearly had a style of play. Is Erik ten Hag underachieving with the players that he has? Yes. And from a business perspective, I think when you look at what's happened with the CEO, the director of football, they're looking to appoint a head of recruitment, there's a big wind of change coming through Manchester United Football Club. And regardless whether the fans at this stage think Erik ten Hag can right the ship and have it benefiting from the headwind or not, I think the time's up. That decision has been made. We started the show talking about 3 games. It's over already. I think in their heads, Ineos, Brailsford, and all the bodies that are coming in are doing their homework to find the next Manchester United Football Club manager, whoever that may be. And they're looking to bring in someone where they don't repeat the cycle. Manchester United should be challenging for the league. We should be kind of going on to shows like we used to and having a bit of banter with Tottenham fans. They could getting it back good when it blows up in our face, and vice versa. We are not at the moment at the table with Manchester City, with Liverpool. Forget Chelsea, because they're broker than shit, because Todd has absolutely destroyed them. But it kind of brings you back to one point, and that is American owners, by and large, are a problem for the Premier League, because they are trying to attribute a franchise mentality to a football club, and it does not work. Todd Bowley probably had a microphone inside in Dan Levy's office, a microphone inside in Murtaugh's office, a microphone in whoever's above Arteta's office, because the players that he was buying and paying massive amounts of money for just did not make sense. And he probably shipped out a manager that was best equipped to maybe right the ship eventually in Potter for a person that was an absolute disaster for them. But Chelsea Football Club, Manchester United Football Club are key examples of what happens when you're ran wrong from the top down. But to go back to your question and to summarize, I think any criticism that is based on the performance on the field, that is not solely and exclusively to have a dig at and to call out unnecessarily anybody, is fair comment. And it is fair comment to say that Erik ten Hag has not achieved the levels of success that is expected of a Manchester United manager, and ultimately his position is untenable.
Yeah. I mean, I'm before we just go into the last segment, I'm just going to quickly hit some of these because we've got loads of people just putting loads of chats in. I weren't expecting this many people to actually be talking with us. Tequila wants to know if either me or you can outdrink Rashford. I reckon. Stay humble, saying we've been hearing this for the last 10 years. Man United have finished and they have their heads above water thanks to their financial power. We actually don't have any financial power at the minute. That's one of the reasons why we're in this situation. We've got FJT saying, I'm not watching United ever again until he's sacked. You don't get it. Trust me, I watch United every single week. I see what you see. Do not worry about it. And then they're talking about Celtic and everything like that. So basically, I think we're all in a kind of agreement that Ten Hag's gone. He's not going to be the manager next season. I think we all kind of agree this. So the rumour mill starts. And some of the names I'm hearing that are early favourites are Graham Potter, Thomas Tuchel, De Zerbi, and the one that I really hope it's not, which I've seen today, is Gareth Southgate. Yeah, Rebels. Just yeah. Which one do you definitely not want, Rebel?
Well, Gareth Southgate, definitely not. I don't want Tommy Two Hips. I think he's a fraud. I'll be honest with you. I think I looked at his career, and barring one appointment, after 18 months, he's left any appointment that he has gone through. I would go knocking on Aston Villa's door and look for Unai 10 times before I would even consider Tommy Two Hips. I don't believe that he's the man for the job. Potter and De Zerbi, I have deep concerns about anybody from Brighton at this stage after watching Casado and a few others after they've left that club. Because I think the only one that's been a success after Brighton has been McAllister at this point. Because anybody that Brighton didn't want to get rid of is still playing for Brighton Football Club. So I would have major concerns there. Who else did you mention? There was the sporting manager that's been linked with the Liverpool job, the Chelsea job, the United job, and any job in the Premier League at this stage. And I would have concerns that we would have something similar to what's after happening with Ten Hag, and that his style of football would not translate to Premier League, and that we would be repeating the cycle. There's rumours because Nagelsmann's contract is up this season with Germany, and the fact that Klopp is leaving Liverpool Football Club, that he may become available. Now, it's a different style of football. It's Klopp's style of football, roughly, that he's playing. How long would it take him to establish that Manchester United Football Club? Who knows? But I think that could be an interesting one. But the names that you mentioned today, no, and no.
Dermo. Obviously, those are some. Looking at it from a Man United perspective, I mean, I'm going to put it in a different way for you, just so we can understand how you feel.
Yes, to all of them.
Big Ange has just left Tottenham. He's been there for a couple of years.
Oh,
he's left Tottenham. Yeah, he's been there for a couple of years. He's left Tottenham, and you're seeing, and you're seeing.
Don't do that.
You're seeing the names of Potter, Tuchel, De Zerbi, Southgate. What are you thinking?
No disrespect, Rebel. I think my hair would fall out overnight if them lot were linked with the Spurs job. I wouldn't have any hair to pull out. No disrespect, Rebel. Don't take that the wrong way. But I wouldn't have any hair left. I'd be pulling it out. I'd be going, what the beeping effing hell are you looking at them? I mean, Gareth Southgate, please give him the Man United job. I put my Tottenham hat on now, right? As a Spurs fan, I need a good laugh. Let Gareth Southgate go to United.
Right. Anyway. Sorry. Go on. Carry on.
I think you need to be... I wouldn't have any of them at my club. Not one of them. They don't excite me. They don't fill me with confidence. You don't fill me with any excitement that you're going to take us to the next level. And people criticised Ange when he first came in. Ange has done a fantastic job at Tottenham. And he gets the Tottenham DNA. He gets Tottenham what Tottenham's about. Your next manager has to be a manager that gets Manchester United. Gets your DNA. That Ange could go down to the pub. You could have a drink with Ange. He has a great relationship with the fans, a great relationship with the club. And you need a manager that's going to do that at Man United. But who do you pick? Because the Real Madrid manager is going to retire soon. Mourinho, you won't have him back. You got Zinedine Zidane. He doesn't want to manage a British club.
They don't.
Who else is there out there?
You know what? There is one person I would love to take the job, but it will never ever happen. It will never happen. I think Rebel knows. No, Rebel. I think Rebel might know who I'm on about. He's currently managing in the Bundesliga.
Xavi Alonso.
Xavi Alonso. Even though he's a Liverpool legend, he knows what Manchester United is. He's played against Man United that many times. It's been drilled into him. When you play against Manchester United, you've got to play to win and all this and all that. And he's fantastic. Look what he's doing at Leverkusen. He's doing absolutely amazing work there. But he's going to be the next Liverpool manager.
Yeah, it boils down, Colin and Rebel. It boils down to a manager that gets the club. That's what you want. You want a manager who gets the club. You want a manager who gets the fans, who gets what your history is about. And walked into Tottenham. He started quoting histories like Tottenham's history in his press conferences. He quoted Bill Nick's quote in one press conference. That's what you want. You want somebody who's going to go in there and say, right, I know what this club's about. I know what your history is. You use the history to motivate your the future. You can't forget your history. You've got to use it as a motivation. So a manager's got to come in and get in the first day of pre-season, bring them into a meeting room and have all what Fergie won. It says, right, I want you to do that. If you do that, you're going to go down in history as probably a great Man United players like the Bobby Charltons, the Georgie Best, the Rio Ferdinands, the Mark Hugheses, the Brian Robsons, the Brian McClares, the Eric Cantonas, and so on and so on and so on. That's what you need. You need a manager to go in there, right, this is what the history shows us. This is what the Fergie team done. This is what the Ron Atkinson's team done. This is what the Tommy Doherty team's done. I want you to match that and make the players believe that you can match it. And they'll have a lifetime they'll be forever remembered. The team under Ten Hag will never be remembered because they're not good enough. And it hurt us when we went through us at Tottenham under Mourinho, under Nuno, under Conte. It hurt us. I was hurting. I didn't want to know my club. Now I'm in love with my club again because of Ange and what he's doing and what he's bringing. I know you two are hurting. You are hurting because your club is not doing what it's supposed to be. Your club is not where it's supposed to be. And it hurts you. It kills you inside as a fan. All you want is Manchester United to play the Man United way. For a player to go out at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, give 120% for that shirt, for that badge. Win, lose, or draw. You can say they tried. You can take a defeat if they've given 110%. Them current Man United players are not given 110%. You've got a goalkeeper that can't goalkeeper. You've got defenders who can't defend. You've got a captain who all he does is moan. He's not a Man United captain. He's nowhere near what a Man United captain should be like. He should be like a Roy Keane or Eric Cantona or Brian Robson or players of that ilk. You've got a striker that will come good, but you don't have that Eric Cantona type player to swing a game. You haven't got the Ryan Giggs to run down the wings. You haven't got a manager that knows what it means to be a Manchester United manager. And you've got owners who don't know what it means to own a club like Manchester United. And it's from top to bottom, you're rotten to the core. And it hurts me to say that because I admire what Ferguson done with United over the years. Didn't like it. Yeah, got upset when you 3-0 up and you beat us 5-3. It hurts me when he says, well, it's only Tottenham, lads, don't worry. But where's that gone? Where's the fight? Where's the energy gone? It's gone because the owners have sucked it out of your club. It's gone because players don't care. It's gone because the manager doesn't care. Man United is crumbling. The stadium's crumbling. Your foundations are crumbling. And to see, like, I saw Colum's reaction with Man City. That tells me, he showed me how much he's hurting. You're hurting as well, Rebel, with the way of your love of United. And it's got to stop. We had it at Tottenham, and we're lucky we found Ange. You need an Ange to come in to your club and restructure your club from top to bottom. That's what you need. I'm sorry I went on a little bit, but
No.
It's how I feel. It's how I can see the hurt in you two, and that's not nice. That's not nice to see another fan hurting.
But,
As a football fan.
I mean, obviously, Rebel, you can say what you're going to say, because I know you wanted to jump in. But, I mean, you'll agree with me. You know, it's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. You don't choose Manchester United. You're born into Manchester United. You know, it's not a club that you just decide you're going to choose.
Absolutely. And if Manchester United didn't exist tomorrow, there would not be another football club. That would be it. There's not going to be another club that I'm going to put my stock in and say, right, from here forth, I'm going to be a Wolfsburg fan, for argument's sake. That just doesn't happen. Over the years growing up, defeat always hurted. But, you know, you take your digs with your cake, and you always knew that you were in the fight, that you were competitive, that you were putting yourself forward for those trophies. But now you can't say that. And a lot of what Dermot was saying just was resonating and hitting home. Crumbling foundations, stadium with concrete falling on top of patrons, roofs leaking, piss-filled bathroom floors. Like, the standards at Manchester United across the football pitch, the infrastructure, and those in the executive levels has not been up to snuff. And he's definitely correct when he says that we need a big Ange. I'm not going to say that the winds of change have started. There's some positive signs with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. If he can increase his holdings and continue with possible good work, then maybe in a couple of years' time we'll be saying this was the beginning of the recovery of our football club. And a name that has actually interested me, and it's an Italian manager, Simone Inzaghi. He's in his games averaged getting 2 goals scored per game. So he's putting himself in a position in games where he's getting the goals that could possibly put you in a position to win. And with the right structures, with a clear out of certain players on the pitch, he could be an interesting man to lead forward a project, because as we know in Italy, they are tough to break down. So that is a formula that he will know from the way he set up his Inter team, his Lazio team, and how to break down a Brentford, and how to break down a Sheffield United, an Everton, a West Ham, etc.
Yep. I mean, you kind of answered that as it came in. You know, who would you take as your next manager? I think you would take Inzaghi. I think I said it earlier. I'd love Alonso to come in. I think he'd do really good for United. I think he'd do bits at United. I know Dermo's going to say Southgate. That's who he wants in United.
No, go out there. Just put it out there. Go for Mr. Blobby. He'd be a great manager for you. Yeah. No, Poch. I think Poch would be a good fit for you guys, actually.
No. You've been drinking again, haven't you?
No, Poch is a good manager. Look what he's doing to Chelsea. He's fantastic.
Just now. Anyway, on that bombshell, I want to thank everybody for walking through this with us, chilling and listening to us all spout absolute rubbish and pretending that we know what we're on about. Dermo, I'm going to come to you. Where can people find you, mate?
Yeah, you can find me, of course, on THFC Till I Die, home of Tottenham, past, present, and future, under the exciting times of Ange Postecoglou. We've got the Daily Hotspur every day at 4. Had the day off today. I was only doing this because Colin, it's only show will come on because Colin asked me. So back tomorrow at 4. We've got the podcast tomorrow night, The Unholy Trinity. The most on religious Irishmen you're ever likely to meet. Moses, me, with smoke coming out my ears. We've got Philip Brady, the devil, and then we've got Dave, Angel Gabriel. As we cover, I'm bluffing. Just take me off. I'm rambling. I can't get my teeth in my head. We're on tomorrow night at 9. Just hit the like button, subscription button, and gets to 2K and get these guys to 1K. And it's always a pleasure coming on with you as well, Rebel. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, and I have not been drinking.
He says he hasn't been drinking. He has been.
Yeah, water.
Yeah, make sure you get over there and show the guys at THFC Till I Die some support. Fantastic group of lads there. Rebel, been a long time. Where can people find you? You'll never find Rebel ever again.
Yeah, I've been kind of quiet at the moment. I can be found sometimes on the Man United agenda, and maybe a bit more over here now because I have been a bit quiet on the streaming scene. At Cork Rebel is my Twitter handle on X, and it's actually there on the bottom there at Cork_Rebel. And yeah, in general, you'll probably see me inside in the comments of random streams at times, and I'm looking forward to doing a stream with Dermot on the future of not Manchester United, the future of the Irish national job at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, we'll get that sorted 100%. 100%. And thank you to Tequila who has thrown in all the links to the channels. Obviously, Dermo's F1 channel as well. Make sure you go check that out. Some really good content.
That starts this week, actually. We're doing the practice tomorrow. 2 practice sessions tomorrow. We're doing the qualifying on Friday and the race Saturday with the update from the rugby as well. Ireland versus England at on Saturday. And and I'm drinking it out of a fantastic Tottenham Hotspur bottle. Only the best for me, as we're now going to get into the Champions League.
Yeah. And also, guys, please go and check out Tequila's podcast as well, his gaming podcast. But you can find me everywhere. I'm everywhere, and that's all you're going to get from me. So thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Go and watch the football. Good night.